Thank you, Debbie. It's a pleasure to meet all of you tonight here in Butts County. I'm real excited to be here. I've been campaigning around the middle part of Georgia, and so this is my first opportunity to come to the northern part of the 8th District. And I'm kind of like Jerry. I don't much like this microphone, so I may get out here in front. Can y'all hear me back there? Okay. It's hard to follow up behind Jerry. He's an excellent speaker, but everything that Jerry said, I 100% agree with. We need passionate leadership in the GOP. We need people who are not going to be status quo. They're going to actively get out there and act on our behalf instead of acting on behalf of special interests. And they're going to be genuinely concerned about us again and not putting those special interests first. And let me introduce myself. I'm Valerie Myers, and I'm from Bon Air, Georgia, and I am a candidate for the Republican nomination to become Georgia's 8th Congressional District Representative. And there are several other opponents in this race, and Paul Rich is one of those, and he didn't even take the opportunity tonight to say that, but I will point that out, that Paul is my opponent, and he's a great guy, and I've enjoyed meeting him. What I wanted to talk to you about a little bit is just tell you who I am and what I believe, and ask you, if you've got any questions for me. Who I am is a proud mother of 2 wonderful children who couldn't be here with me tonight. I usually drag them around with me. But, and I'm also, I recently completed the requirements to get my master's degree in international business from Mercer University. I work as a technical writer and a logistics analyst for a computer software development company that writes software for the Air Force. And I'm what is known as a community organizer. I got called that in a recent article in the Congressional Quarterly, and I know that's kind of a dirty word around here, but that's what I've been doing, is been active in the GOP in the 8th District. Most recently, I served as the 3rd Vice Chairman of the 8th Congressional District, and I didn't stay there very long before I had to resign and say I want to run for Congress. I have some national recognition. A group called LibertySlate.com has ranked me in the top 3 of non-incumbent Republican candidates running for national office. I'm actually the #1 congressional candidate on that list. It's LibertySlate.com if you want to take a look at it. And what LibertySlate.com does is rank Republican candidates on 3 basic principles, and that is the principle of fiscal responsibility. And I know you all know that we need fiscal responsibility in Washington, D.C. right now. We have a $12 trillion plus deficit right now, no debt, national debt. That's $39,000 for every man, woman, and child in the United States. And that's unconscionable. And it's disgusting. And it shouldn't be like that. And our children and our grandchildren are going to pay that price if we don't have people with leadership and vision, like Jerry said we need people who have goals and ideas on ways to resolve this and don't just come up here and give us platitudes all the time. So I'm one of those people. And the other thing that Liberty Slate does is they rank people based on I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought there for a second. They rank people on personal liberties and how well our civil liberties have been protected. And I don't know if you guys realize that, but we've had some of our personal liberties have been taken away from us. And I don't know if you remember the bomber at Christmas time who snuck on a plane with some explosives in his underwear, thought he was going to be a hero, and so in exchange for him being ridiculous and putting our lives in danger, now we all have to go and have electronic strip searches when we go through the airport. And it's so that's another thing that Liberty Slate rates us on. And I just want to say that I know most of us here care about those kinds of things. The debt is important, and our personal liberties are important. But most of us worry about jobs and our economy. And what we need to do are things like Jerry suggested, is have many ideas, real ideas that are free market-based ideas that are not central planning out of Washington, D.C., but that they unleash the entrepreneurial spirit of the people of America who can solve any kind of problem if we're just allowed to solve those problems. If the government gets out of our way and lets us have an opportunity to create our own businesses without a lot of bureaucratic nonsense. So those are the things that I stand for. And I know that's not a very comprehensive list of my issues, but I don't want to go on and on. So you're more than welcome to go to my website. It's valerieforcongress.com. All of my issues are outlined there, and a little more about my background is on there as well. There's also a place for you to sign up to be a volunteer if you'd like to help us out. We'd love to have you on our team. And then also there's a page for you to donate as well, and I'm sure you all know that politicians have to ask you for money. That's what we do. But money is important, and if you feel so inclined and want to write a check tonight and give it to me, I'll be happy to take it. But anyway, I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you tonight. And one thing I did forget to mention is Jerry talked a lot about health insurance and the health care reform issues out of Washington, D.C. And today I sent out a press release saying that I signed the Club for Growth's Repeal It pledge. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but the Club for Growth is the #1 free market PAC out of Washington, D.C., and they have a pledge that anyone who is running for Congress or Senate should sign it, saying that if any health care reform bills are passed in 2010, that as a newly elected member of Congress, you would vote to repeal it. And I signed that pledge today, and that's my pledge to you, is that I will not let that health care reform package stand the way they've got it written right now. I'm only for free market-based reforms. Again, I'm Valerie Myers. I'm running for Congress. I want you to vote for me. I was told at my last speech I didn't ask for everybody to vote, so I want you to vote for me, and I appreciate your vote. And if you've got any questions, I'll be happy to take them after the meeting.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Valerie. The next candidate that we have here, I would like him to change hats, is Paul Risch. He is also candidate for the 8th